Hello, everyone. My name is Charles Moon, and I am the head instructor here for the Penny and Cannabis Room. But before we get started, I would like to mention that stock and stock options trading involves a substantial degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to be talking about some cannabis names. We're going to be talking about some OTCs. Unfortunately, in the US, they are OTCs. They trade on much larger liquidity and are listed on the TSX, some on the CNSX. But for the most part, let's kind of just throw some names out there. Let's start with Kronos, CRON. We actually just took a nice little swing play here recently. I'm going to be looking for another potential breakout. The entire sector as a whole did get a lift from Boehner's announcement that he is now um, working as a consultant slash advisor. He's on the board of Acreage Holdings, and then, of course, having the face of the GOP, the Conservative Party, really now endorsing the sector, really brought some strong inflow. We're seeing it carry over today. There was some merger news. WDDMF, which is WeedMD Inc., has merged with Haiku, HIKU, Haiku Brands. Again, trades on OTC here, also trades in Canada. They're pretty similar companies, and this merger, there's a lot of sympathy, a lot of correlative factors for the two, so it's going to be a big boon, big enough that they're actually applying to now trade on the TSX, and should get approval. Obviously, depending on the regulatory outcome. We also had news on GWPH, which I'll throw up right here. They got approval. Uh, they won a unanimous recommendation from the FDA Advisory Committee for a cannabis-derived drug. Now we know that GWTH PH in regards to the pharmaceutical side of cannabis was the powerhouse. Their epilepsy drug was the big one. But we've seen some, they were on halt, and since the halt, they've been down. So to me, I'm going to throw it up right here in this upper right hand corner. There is a pretty key price level, a price level where I'll have a ton of interest in regards to opportunity, and that is going to be at that 125 price. If you notice that I just drew a line here, that's where we saw basically a double top resistance. Out here, you see that there's been a stronger than normal volume distribution, aka these extended bars to the right. And so this is really where the stock had broke free from. The initial support is going to be at 130. That's really where I could see some coming in. The gap bar low has offered up some support the last few days. That low here was at 130.30. This low here was at 130.01. So it's pretty clear that that 130 price is going to be pretty important in the short term. But if it does not sustain, I would be looking towards that 124, 125 price range, and I would actively pursue that opportunity there. You have the 50-day, the 200-day moving average below. We're seeing strong vitals to the upside. This will be a fairly passive entry. It's a buy the dip entry, and this is also trying to partake in news, but also the opportunity for secular growth in the short term, intermediate term. You could also kind of, as an offshoot, look at stocks like Cara, CARA, which is slightly down, and INSY. But you can see Cara has slowly moved up here in regards to the news, and INSY should be very similar. It's a little bit more active. You could look at those as some Mary plays at a cheaper price point, um, because again, it's they're more tied in based on sector, but really it would be the concentrated GWPH that I would be focusing on. So we'll see if buyers try to rush back in. It wouldn't surprise me if it does start catching a bid near that 130 mark. However, it's a fairly aggressive entry, and we could already see that the stock has traded in a 11-point range right now, $11.65 range right now, and it could extend. So 130 I would consider a fairly aggressive entry. I would look more towards that 125, 124 price. If support holds, and if it does, I'll probably aggressively pursue it, especially with those layers of technical support like that 50-day and that 200-day below it. Um, there are multiple ways that we could take advantage of the inflow into this particular sector. Um, I really like the opportunity I hate to say this, in some of the pink shakes, the OTCs, you can clearly see how strong WDD-MF is, and then of course we have DJACF, which is Haiku, and you can see how strong they were. Now this is a fairly new stock. I would be looking at that 388 price, which is their all-time high. I would see what other opportunities would grow from there. When I mean brand new, this is fairly brand new, so. We've seen it rally strong before. This was a consolidation. This is that breakout. That 187 price is where their 50-day moving average is. Their 100-day is at 192. So let's just say it needs to clear $2. If it gets above $2, I really speculate they can make a strong, strong run for their all-time highs. At that 388 mark, this would be more of the longer-term play because of the merger. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully this helps you out. I guess there's one last sneaky name that you could throw out there. ACBFF. Their CEO was on CNBC yesterday. There's been some pretty nice technical support coming in. Any reversion back above $7, I fully expect them to test around that 8 range. And anything above 8, ladies and gentlemen, I have a strong, strong feeling they're going to be making a run for that double-digit ticker, that double-digit level. And this ticker could be flying here, flying high, very soon. It sounds funny, but tomorrow's 420. They call this Weed Week, and we saw the inflow. I'm very interested to see how these stocks will perform, see if there's anything in these names on the most famous day for cannabis, which is 420. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Prosper Trading Academy on Facebook. Also, follow us on Twitter at Prosper Trading. Don't forget to click on the notification so you are alerted anytime we drop any kind of information, because it may be extremely beneficial for you. You never know when we will offer up that wonderful, wonderful buy-side opportunity here. Thank you all. Have a great day.